It's getting to be that time of year where the Winter Village goes up, the credit card bill goes way high, and all is well in the world. Welcome to my 2024 Winter Village that's getting set up in the kitchen. Number one stop today is going to be the residential village here on the far left. I wish that LEGO put out more of these houses where it's nothing crazy, nothing fantasy based, it's just houses. In front of the houses on the street, we've got a parade, and we've got lots of different characters in the parade, including gingerbread men, soldiers, reindeer, more gingerbread people, and of course, the man in charge, Santa Claus. There's plenty of onlookers for this parade in particular. We've got Santa Claus following up the rear because a Christmas parade just isn't normal without Santa Claus at the very end. At the front of the parade, we've got a little blue truck hauling a Christmas tree. And unfortunately, I don't have a little red truck hauling a Christmas tree, but I think a blue truck will suffice just fine. Around the edges, we've got this nice little fence and these beautiful lamps, which I will talk about later in the video. But overall, I think this part of the village is my favorite. That's why I'm starting with it. Plus, it's on the far left, so it's just kind of a natural progression into the rest of the Christmas village. The toy soldiers, the gingerbread men, the reindeer, and some of the onlookers are not legit LEGO. They are custom figs that I found online, but that doesn't really bother me at all. Of course, we've got the Christmas vacation house all lit up. Plenty of onlookers in the public. Oh my gosh, who's that? He's not supposed to be here either. We've got Yoda and Baby Yoda. I know, Grogu's a real name, but they're watching the parade as well because they are on their way to do whatever it is they do. Like I said before, I wish LEGO would put out more of these regular houses, nothing too crazy about them. They're not fantasy based at all, very grounded, and I like them. I think they look nice. Even though LEGO only produced one of them, it's time to move on to the other side of the tracks. Here on the other side of the tracks, we've got a highway system, or at least a road to get from one side to the other. This is probably the section I'm the least proud of this year. I don't know if it's because the base plates throw off some of the snow color, or the train isn't as dominant in the scene as I'd like it to be. But regardless, I've got the Orient Express wrapping around the whole back side of this little section. The train itself, I've not done anything Christmassy to. I've just plopped it down here on the tracks. But I have done a little bit of Christmassy things with the cars on the road. So far left, we've got the new Elf car, the postage car that came out this year. And then we've got the Griswold car. Next is an old gift with purchase, I believe, from last year. And then, of course, Hopper's vehicle from Stranger Things, because Christmas lights are in the show. It's a stretch, I know. But most importantly, this is the thing that I really wanted this year that I didn't think I was going to be able to get, and that is the city snowplow from a few years back. I ended up finding it used, pre-built at the Orlando Brick Co., so shout out to them. I'd had the snowplow in my eBay cart, but luckily I was able to find it even cheaper at the Orlando Brick Co., plus they were running a sale for their Bricktober sales. Snowplow was moving some snow off of the road, and above all of the roads and all the cars is, of course, Santa and his sleigh, with a passenger that I'm not sure if he's aware of just yet. That would be Jack Skellington. Perhaps Jack was a stowaway and he's just kind of sneaking his way on to see what Santa's up to take over his job once all the hard work's done. But anyways, the sleigh is held up by these nice clear pieces. I did use them last year, but they're a bit more stable this year. I reinforced the base and added some plates on top. And overall, I think this scene looks okay. Next year, I don't think I'm going to use the gray base plates. I'm just going to make it a snowy scape and maybe some gray pieces here and there, or just some yellow stripes for the road. But regardless, the back of the village is viewable by the kitchen sink on the inside, which is kind of something I really like about this setup this year, where you can see the front and the back without moving all the buildings around. And I think from the front, where everything's supposed to be viewed, is a much better angle. And the only people that are going in the kitchen anyways, it's just Grace and I, so it doesn't really matter. But if you like the insides of buildings, then that's the place to be. Moving on to the next section of the village, and this is what I like to think of as the Hallmark movie, the Hallmark Channel Christmas village setup, right? Maybe it's called Hope Town, and there's a up-and-coming businesswoman who meets a Christmas tree salesman and falls in love. But unfortunately, this town is not super normal. We've got Harry Potter characters, we've got some other movie characters such as the Grinch and Stitch, and a couple gift with purchases that are sprinkled throughout. But there's a toy store, a music store, and a church. Here's the stitch I was talking about. Yet another fun one I found online. I do love that Christmas sweater. And who is that he's talking to? None other than Gizmo, I think that's his name, from the Gremlins. And they're relaxing, but while everyone's shopping, the Grinch is up top having a really good time because he's got a bag, so obviously he's stolen something, but who knows what's in there. I really like this section of the village because it's very normal. It's very reminiscent of the town I grew up in, and it's kind of got a small town vibe, but it's also very fun. One difficult part of the village was this corner. All the corners of the countertop, there's no triangular based base plate, so either I was going to have to cut them, which I really don't want to do, or I can just kind of leave it as the marble countertop, which I chose to do, and I think it looks okay. No town, of course, is complete without Le Church. And this church in particular has only one person going to it, and that is the F1 Mercedes fan, because they are quite upset that Lewis Hamilton's leaving Mercedes to head to Ferrari, but I don't know what God can do about that. God doesn't really watch F1. I hear he's only a NASCAR kind of guy. The church instructions are from a Rebrickable site where somebody posted it. I think it was on either Rebrickable or Bricklink. And anyways, no church is complete without a father, so who better to be the church father than Christmas Vader? And who better to play the organ up top than David Jones? So Davy Jones is in charge of the organ music here at the church. I don't know how many Christmas songs he knows, but you know it's going to be banging. This little village area I think is very cute. I like the horse-drawn carriage here. I think it looks very nice. Moving next door to the little Christmas village here, the Hallmark Town, is something that's kind of just an amalgamation of fantasy and sci-fi and whatever else I could throw in. So topped in the middle, we've got the very large Christmas tree. We've got the Hogsmeade sets on either side of it. We've got the 3 broomsticks and honeydukes. And of course, no fantasy village is complete without Stan Lee on a snowblower. And we've got C-3PO, and not R2-D2, but some sort of snowman droid. I have no idea what he's from. I think he was maybe from the Advent Calendar a few years back. Again, just some Star Wars figures here and there, as well as Harry Potter. I think maybe next year's village will not include this little section, and it will be replaced with like the Alpine Lodge or some other winter set that comes out next year, because I'm not too proud of it. It just looks okay. I think maybe the fantasy elements of Harry Potter are a bit jarring with everything else. But overall, nothing too crazy. Right next door to that, obviously, you need a Chinatown, because what town is not complete without a Chinatown? And so we've got the little ice skating rink that was part of the Chinese New Year sets a few years back. And I really like the look of this, and I think it's an underrated set for Christmas villages. And again, I've got the railroad track kind of going throughout the whole city here. And of course, a Perry the Platypus snowy ice sled thingamajig that's just sitting there. I do have some Easter eggs and loose items throughout, but for the most part, everything in the village makes sense where it should be. So either we've got this set here, which was City, or some other little hidden minifigures here and there. Now the lampposts, I'm really proud of this. I can't understate how proud I am of these little lampposts. So all of them throughout the city are the exact same, and they are all made from not Bricklink, not Rebrickable, but from the Pick-a-Brick wall at the Lego store here in Orlando, Florida at the Disney Springs store. So all of these little lamps are custom made by me. I was able to put a design together that only used a few pieces, and I'm really proud of how it looks. It's got a gold leaf on one side, some holly branches on the other, and I think it's got a nice way of connecting all the different parts of the Christmas village without it seeming too busy or maybe industrial. Now the village this year, as I said before, is kind of on the kitchen counter, but it's not any part of the counter that we really use to prepare food. So I was able to sneak that on the countertop without the wife saying too much about it. Actually, it was her idea to put that there when we found the house. So I'm really happy that she picked that spot out, because it's allowed me to grow the village each year, make it bigger and bigger, and honestly, this year is probably the best it's ever looked. And I don't know if that's because of the train or the residential areas, but regardless, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support lately. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you